Hello and welcome to today's review, and I think it's the sixth episode. It will be about the failure swing. First of all, I'm going to explain the trade I just took now and my first stop loss of the month. I had wrong bias for today. I left the position here for now and I'm going to try to analyze what I did wrong on that short that I took here. So, going to a clean chart, this was the range I had for today. So turtle soup, and I was waiting for this range to play out. But look at what happened on CPI. It just went up. Also look at this. That's why I didn't sell at the CPI, because we had a 1 hour range going counter trend to my ground liquidity, which was here. So this would be a reset range. So finally, this was the range that was leading the price, and this was the maybe yes, look at this. Also, this is exactly 1 day range. We had failures in here. My bad, didn't see that. So you will see now why, but to me this looks like this, and this is the drawn liquidity and final target. Okay, yeah. So we already had the bias for the CPI and the final drawn liquidity. This is the fair swing, but I will explain later. So, the trade I took. It completed the daily range, so that would be an intra-turtle soup for me, and that would be the range I would have to wait for. Look at this. I didn't wait for the turtle soup to happen, and then this will be the candle that I would trade short, but look at when this closed above and the trade invalidated, and this already closed, so the shorts were validated. So this is how we could avoid the trade, but I was just blind for the bias. I would say this is the only reason that I take stop losses in the last 3 months. I think I took 3 or 4 stop losses, and it was for that reason. I was blindly following bias. Even I was wrong, I was just, if you see this, if you had this in your chart, this, and you have this range, the one I had, you will only see shorts. Your eyes can see the longs. So you are, in this case, following blindly the short scenario. So you're shorting here, and maybe this is your take profit, so you got to stop out. Okay. So what I do every time that I'm wrong, I don't need. I mean, in this case, I just wait for the turtle soup to happen and the closing side, and then sell in the power 3 and maybe take a take profit or break even. I don't care. But the thing is, when I'm wrong, when this close above, what we need to do is this: remove every drawing in the chart. It's clear again, and we need to do this: analyze again. What do we see? Maybe going into higher time frame, we can see something here. Look at this. This is something that I see. We are at more than 100 pips. It is far, but maybe this is the drawn liquidity we have for the next weeks or month. Well, maybe days or weeks. So price maybe is heading to the drawn liquidity, and it will create something like this. It will fail to complete the 3-month range. It will make a pending one, and finally complete the range. Okay, that's what I think for now. But as this is more than 100 pips, and we will need to wait for a low time frame match to happen, and you already know how to play uh, the markets. Okay, so I was wrong. So what I did is this: I clear the U chart again because I also had the various bias. Let's see. This is the range I wanted to play, and here sells out there. But finally, this is the range that pay out. So what I wait for the long I took, look at this whole while respecting, but I wait for exactly this candle to disrespect um, the 1-day range, meaning that it will invalidate this range, is this out, and we'll just use that one. So as you know, I took only the optimal entry. I missed this one, so I played the last leg of the movement. That would be this one. You see the stop because we done both here. I both already when the price was going to the double liquidity. In this case, that would be the ideal long, something like this, aiming for 3 hours. That will be okay. So this was the short I took. Sorry, the long I took, and finally I recovered my stop loss. Okay. So once this said, okay, if you don't know the bias, you could with a, I mean, this is not a correlated asset with you, but it have the EU first, meaning that it will make exactly the same that EU USD is doing. So in this case, we were at the last stage of the 3 weeks range. Look at this, we were here. We're going into low time frame. We had this. This also, look at this 6-hour range, maybe 8 no, look at this 8-hour range. We are not using this one because we are the last quarter of the 3-week range. So as soon as it creates a new range, it will create this as a pending one and aiming for the drawn liquidity. So this was the new range and going into the final objective. What do we have here? This is 2:45, the time that can start trading. And let's find some setup and look at this. You see this, we have SMT, while GBP was already here. I already made the lower low, meaning SMT, and look at this is a failure swing. And with the example, I will introduce the episode for today, okay? Look at the time that the low was created, 2:05, and look at the time that the candle opens, 3 a.m., meaning what? It will make a failure swing because the low is already done. So in my eyes, this is the 1 hour range for me. It looks like this, meaning that we have the bias. And we already have the longs inside this candle and this second one order block and going into the dragon liquidity, which was the 3 weeks range high, okay? So what for me that I took everything out here, that would be like 8 hours, 7 hours, well, whatever. So let's start the episode about failure swings. Let's go. So what is a failure swing? Sure. Okay, as you see here, this is a range that failed with the turtle soup and makes and completes the range. I mean, this will be a pending one or a restarted and then going higher. We don't care. So this will be a failure swing inside a higher time frame range. I mean, this must to be the turtle soup must be in to create the higher time frame range, but in this case, this one failed to create the turtle soup. But in my eyes, I see this. And now we'll see the reasons why this happened, okay? So the reasons are, the first one, we have SMT with a correlated asset or with the DXY, which is not correlated, but it has a, I mean, if this is a EUUSD, we have GBP and DXY, it is a inversely correlated asset. The second reason is end of the time or hour or candle because it depends of the candle. I mean time frame. If it is a weekly candle, maybe it is created on Friday. You will see, you know. The third reason is at the beginning of the time of the candle, it fails to make the lower low or higher high. let's say this is the beginning of the candle, fails to create high high or lower low. And the last reason depends of the broker. This happens on the non-futures charts like Forex. I mean, this not happen on, for instance, Nasdaq or S&P when it is a future chart. And also on EU, there is a chart that I think is something like this. I don't know. I don't know. I don't remember the chart. But the thing is, I don't. Sorry. When trading Forex, sorry, I was saying that, yeah, in the Forex you have Forex.com, FXCM, Wanda, Pepperstone, So every chart has its own liquidity provider. That means that maybe in FXCM the hike of this level it's not 4000 but 4001. This would be a reason for a failure swing. Starting with the end of the candle, I mean the second point. End of the candle. I'm seeing you on the other screen and I'm getting mad. I took everything out here. Well, whatever. What I mean by the end of the candle. The algorithm is doing this every single time. With every single candle, it tries to. Well, so the algorithm tries to, with every single candle, mitigate the high, first the low, and then the high. So when it fails, I mean, this happens on every single time frame, even 1 minute or 1 month. Unless it's doing this, which is a distribution. But look at this. Before starting the movement, tries to mitigate the low and then the high. Before the movement, tries to mitigate the low, then the high. Before the down movement, tries to mitigate the high and then the low. Exactly. Look at this. This is a failure swing. Look how failed to mitigate the high, then going lower. Every single one. Look, first the low, then going into the high. This is a failure swing because it didn't mitigate the high. Look, mitigate the low, then going to upside. First mitigate the low, mitigate the low, mitigate. This is a failure swing. See? So why this happened? I already told you the reasons, and now let's focus on the second one, which is the end of the candle. So imagine now that this is 3 a.m. London, and this is 55. So it mitigates the high at 55 and then going into the new candle, because the high is already mitigated, it doesn't need to make the higher high on the new candle, because for the algorithm, it is done already. Meaning that for the algorithm, this already happened. So we could see some examples that I have on my notes, but I remember that this happened today. Oh yeah, this happened on this page. Look at this. Look at the time. It creates a lower low and mitigates the lows here. 255, and the new can, it's done already because it was made on the end of the last candle. So in my eyes, every single failure swing, it is a turtle soup, meaning this is a range. Which range it's mitigating? Look at this. And maybe you have another one. Yeah, look at this. So this is a 3 a.m. candle. It should look like this to create this range. And why it fails? Because it makes a lower low at the last candle of the 2 a.m. range. Look at the time. Only one before the new candle open, it made the lower low. So that would be the second reason. We will see some examples on this. You will see it happens a lot of times. Right. So when this happens, in my eyes, I see this turtle soup. I mean, this doesn't exist, but in my eyes, this is what I see, okay? And also, this could be the third reason, that at the beginning of the candle, it fails to make the higher high. Look at this. In this case, 3 a.m. tries to attack the previous high and fails. Look at this, 3 a.m. and couldn't make the higher high and boom, lower. So if you are waiting for this to happen, you will wait forever, because for the algorithm is already done and keeps going lower. Okay. So I mean, what is a failure sim is really easy. You need to see some examples to see the concept. Okay. So starting with the first example, let's see what happened yesterday. Oh, yes. So this is an example of SMT. Look at this. In this case, oh sorry, this is not the pair I want to see. GBP/USD. This one. And this is not the, this is, look at this. I think it's 4 hours. Yes, look at this. So in you and GBP failed to create the lower low, and you create the lower low, meaning that this will be a range, and meaning that this will be a range. Even you can see the turtle soup being done. Okay, this is how I the for a range. I missed today to see this because I was, as I said, I was blindly only watching the seeing the shorts. Okay, let's see what time the first swing, and it was here. Okay, look, this is a change of the new candle. Looks like open, but look how it looks in GBP. This is the 9 candle, and it fails to make the lower low. You see? It tries to do it here. This is the beginning of the 4-hour candle. Tries to do it at the 9 a.m. and fails, while this was already here. This is also a feeder swing. Look at this is the end of the 1 a.m. Sorry, 1 hour 10 a.m. candle and fails. Why? Because it's respecting the 4-hour range low. So when this happens, we already know what is the drawn liquidity. Look at this is perfect when it fails, and this is probably pending our R and going into Asian range. We have the drawn liquidity, and exactly the same here. Look at this fails, so we already know the bias for the next session. That will be Asian that also fails, so we already have the bias for the next session, which is today in London. This is easy. So you can see how you can avoid the stop losses. If you start every day with a clean chart and analyzing every day, you don't have the yesterdays of the last day's buy, because you are not blindly following that bias. Something else that I want to see. Yes, I will divide the feeder swing episodes into 2 videos because there are a lot of things. But in the second video, I will focus only on this. That will be okay. So this is the 2 longs I like to take, which is the optimal one and the lag. So price could create two types of feeder swing. The first one, it is at the beginning of the candle, which could be what happened on the GBP. In this case, because we had SMT with you, and the second first thing that could happen is that fails at the last leg of the range, and we also have the 4 reasons that could be SMT, end of the candle, beginning of the candle tries to attack the lower low in this case and fails here. And the 4th one, it is the depends on broker. Some broker you can see something like this, exactly the same number, and another broker you see this. But maybe you are not watching a broker that creates a lower low. So if this is exactly the same level, imagine this is 206. Imagine the failure swing, it is exactly 206. If this happens, you could imagine that the broker, it is 205. Okay, meaning this is a pending R and going into the time liquidity. So this will be the next episode about the failure swing, but I'm not focused on this today. So let's see some examples. starting with USD CAD. Going into coin chart. Here, select it. At 3 a.m. Here. So you have two options, or you believe me, or you watching in your chart in the XY. It happened this, meaning we had SMT with USD CAD. And look at this is also a fair swing. So this is the range. That's how I see the price. So white face, look at this. White face to get the 4-hour range. Look at the time. It is 11:55, and at the new candle, because the range was created at 55, it fails to make the lower low. This could be also the reason of the broker, that in this broker one it doesn't look like a lower low, but you see here. So this would be, but I'm thinking that this no, sorry, forget what I just said, because the new candle prints at 1 p.m. So it would be this one. So here it fails. So this how I would see the one candle, it fails to get the lower low. And this is also what I just said about the 55 candle. That will be the 1-hour candle, the bias, and going into the 4-hour range high. Okay. So look at this. We already know the bias for. Look at this. This is a Asian session. And finally for London. So this is the 2 a.m. candle. This one. And on the 3 a.m. candle, which open here, tries to attack this, the 1-hour range low and fails, while the DXY create the lower low, meaning we had SMT here. So this would be my range to buy in this case. What will be this? Here, at our buys. This is our order block. And this is the final liquidity. Done. Okay. Next example. Let's go to. I mean, I don't have a very SMT examples because I already made a video about the SMTs, so it's easy. Only another example and it will be it for the SMT examples. I don't remember where was the SMT here. So let's go to GD on that day. Because it's not correlated. Let's go. Okay, look at this. Also an example of the SMT, and we had a really clean for our range. That would be our draw liquidity. So it's not following your chart. But at 6 a.m. here, GP was on the lower part of the range, meaning that it creates a lower low and EV was making a higher high. So we need to focus here for looking a pending R going to New York. Look at this white face because it is going counter trend, so it creates this one longs here. Look at this, it creates this one longs here. This is our bias and going into New York. And look at the time, it is end of the 8 a.m. candle, so this is the reason 9 a.m. doesn't make the lower low because it's already done here, meaning that that will be the turtle soup of the 9 a.m. candle. It would make the intra turtle soup in my eyes, so easy longs at the order block and at the 9 a.m. candle because the lower low it's already done, I mean the turtle soup, and that will be turtle soup long order block long power 3 longs before taking the maybe 15-minute range. I don't know if it is the range, but and final terminal liquidity, which will be the 4-hour range high. Okay, SMT is really simple. We already have seen a lot of examples. So let's go to end of the candle. We already knew 25 May. Look at this. It is London. Maybe it's also this one. I don't know. So let's check. One was the one I'm referring. Let's start for this one in London. Look at them and look at the time that was created. This is the end of the candle, and at the beginning of the candle, this is the third reason it fails to create the lower low, meaning that in my eyes, as it fails, maybe we have SMT here. I don't know. We don't need to see if there is SMT. Just looking at the time beginning of the candle, it fails to create the lower low. So in my eyes, I see this range, meaning that we have longs inside this 15-minute range. We can refine it. Look at this. This is a candle of the order block. Why not this one? Because here it creates a low. And why not this one? Because, well, it could be some of these two candles. I don't know. I mean, you just could use this one. Look at this order block, but it has a bigger body. And look at this, close above, power 3, power 3, power 3. Let's make it more big. Close above, as soon as the next candle opens, power 3, long, 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 and because we already are inside the 15-minute range, the next candle will be a long. And look at this, we are out, so we are not able to buy anymore. Where will be the take profit? Maybe we have some range on the left, I don't know. This is only 10 pips, so look at the time. Let's wait for a new candle to open. Going into 7 a.m. So 7 a.m. to open and create a higher high here. That would be our exit, for instance, or going to the next candle. This is 45. Look, at 50, it tries to make the higher high and it fails, meaning that this would be the 8 a.m. candle. So this will be something like this in my eyes, meaning that this will be the 8 a.m. candle. So the shorts will be at 8 a.m. Look at this. This is 50, 55, and the new candle power 3 because the high is already done. So just selling here and going into the, maybe you have some range here, I don't know, but you already know. Okay, look at this, we are not leaving here because look at the time, 9:55. So here 10 a.m. new candle, lower low, we left the position here, and look at this. Okay, and this is the candle that we leave the position, and maybe you have another range here. So the new range and longs on the other order block going into the 1 hour range, which will be here or not. I don't know, I don't have the context of that day. Well, maybe. I don't know. Well, whatever. Next example. This is the day of the IFP. I already commented that day, but let's focus only on the figure swing. That will be 7th of June. No, before. Here. All right, you already remember the day on the entry videos. and this was a 2-hour range that was a pending one. And look at the time that fails to make the higher high. So for entries, we have that range here. So let's look at the time. Which time it created the higher high? Look, 7:55, meaning to me this is the 8 candle already. So the 8 a.m. candle doesn't look like this, it looks like this. And it gives us the bias and the dragon liquidity that will be around here. So if you see at the end of the candle that it makes the turtle soup, the next candle doesn't need to the higher high. Look at this. You see 8 a.m., 8:20, and it fails, meaning that it tries to make the higher high, and maybe you have SMT with a correlated asset. I don't know. So to me, the 8 a.m. candle looks like this. Okay? It could be the 8 a.m. because it was made at 55, or it could be tries to attack the higher high and it fails. Okay, let's look USD CAD now for another example. Let's go to Wando, which is the same day of the NFP. Also failed to create the lower low in this case because it is the opposite. Here. So what do we see? Imagine that will be the ground liquidity. At 7 a.m. opens above of this candle, meaning is a reset one. It needs to restart the 7 a.m. candle before going long, meaning that we want to see this taken at before 8:30 on the news. Look at the time that it was made the lower low. This is the turtle soup, sorry. Look at the time. It is the end of the 7 a.m. 50 and 55, meaning that 8 a.m. the low is already done and the 1-hour candle looks like this. You wouldn't say this 1-hour range because you don't see the turtle soup, but you need to look at what time was the turtle soup created. Last 10 minutes. This is a macro. If you remember ICT that says the last 10 minutes and the first 10 minutes of an hour, there is a macro inside. So in my opinion, this is what he's referring. 8 a.m. candle looks like this, and look how it looks now. Now the 1-hour candle just restarted this one, and when it restarts the range, need to create a pending one, and then going higher. So watching this, you already see the bias for NFP and the final draw liquidity that will be this one. So we just buy because the target is not met. We can still buy in. We are not afraid to buy. And final target. Okay. Like this. I mean, we can do it better. Just watching for another arc. This pending one, aiming to the objective, and we also have this pending one, which is also just restarted this one. So from here, this little wick, we have the longs going into the ground liquidity. And that would be the order block. Once it closes off, as soon as this opens, power of 3, the long is here. And here, this is still valid because it's inside, but you need to know how many pips. 1 is enough. So, second one here, buys inside that range. And we have another inside range. Another range inside the candle. That will be in the turtle soup and going into the liquidity, 20 pips easy. I think you already know how to identify the failure swings. Let's look for another examples. And don't worry about what I said before. It could be 2 types of failure swings at the beginning or at the middle, because in the next episode it will be only about this. So you here 13, and let's find our failure swing. Look at this. Oh, sorry, it's this one. The one I want to see because this is London. So let's find our down liquidity, really simple. Look at this. When it opens, we already know the bias for the next hours. Let's see if we can refine. No. 12, nothing, and 8. Yeah, we have another range. We don't care if this is the range or the 6 hour, okay? So let's refine to find an entry on London. Look at the 3 hours. It opens below this and needs to restart before going lower. So from here, we have to look for shorts. Let's go to 2 hours and finally 1 hour going into 3. In this case, this is 3 a.m. and 4 a.m. will be the ideal shorts, okay? So let's see at what time it creates a higher high. Look at this. This is end of 3 a.m. candle. So to me, the 4 a.m. candle already done its turtle soup. It looks like this, and if you see now the 1 hour candles, you see a clear 1 hour range aiming the down liquidity. Let's find an entry. This doesn't exist, but the range it's exactly the same. We want to sell inside 15-minute range. This is the order block we will use, and imagine we are here and we are not inside the position, so close below, and as soon as the next candle opens, we are selling. We sell around here. We still are inside the range, so we can keep selling. And we're out. We are not allowed to sell, even if this happened. It touched again the order block, we don't care, the position has to be done. What is our down liquidity? Here. This is a lot of pips. That's why it didn't happen on London, because we already have the bias for New York. Let's look for a retracement. Look at this. failure swing. This is the news. So I'm going to do all the segments, okay? Look at this. I think I already commented that day, but I will do it again. So this is our short here. As soon as the next candle opens, power 3 and sell here, okay? We can hold the trade till the take profit. Yes, we can, but let's look at the time. We had the news at 8, I think was 8:30, like always. So what's happening all the time? The new candles are open below, meaning waiting a restarted ranges. So means to restart the range. Look at this. Not yet. And look at this, 8 a.m. As soon as it creates a lower low, we are out of the position for now. Why? Look at the 1 hour range. Maybe we can refine. Nothing here. And look at this. This is our our reset R. We need to restart before going lower again to our drawn liquidity. So we want to go long below the 7 a.m. Range, and look at this. Going into 5:30. Let's wait as close as possible, 25. So we are buying here. What is the take profit? We don't care about this high or nothing here. The only that I want, because we are going counter trend, it is low hanging fruit objectives, which will be exactly this high. And next candle, boom, and look at this. This is another failure swing. Why? Because look at the time, 5 here. Here opens the new candle, and the high was already done on the previous candle, meaning that will be a 5-minute range, and it will look like this. When with this, we have a pending R aiming to the dragon liquidity. Where are the shorts? Look at this. We are really close, really far about the dragon liquidity, 50 pips. So anything inside the 5-minute range, that will be ideal shorts. But let's wait for another range to be created. Look at this. Maybe we have another one. We wanna look at this. Opens below, so it needs to go here. And as soon as this happens, this is our the first short, or maybe inside this range, which will be also a pending one. We can delete all of this. And this is the range we are inside, the pending, aiming the downward liquidity. So here, we're on the turtle soup of the 15-minute range. And look at this. We want to go short before closing above outside the range. So as the next candle opens, power 3, here we are out. What is our down liquidity? Here, looking for, because there is inside the news, we can aim for 4 hours. It's something like this. And look what happened. Straight to the okay. Things getting clear. I have another nice example on that page. On the day is maybe this one. No. I don't remember the day. So let me check the Spanish video I did about the one-to-one. And I will see the day that happened. This is the first swing video. $25. I sorry, 21. Okay. Here. Okay. We have two failure swings. This one and this one. Let's go first for the short. I don't remember the range. Maybe no, this not. Yes. So this is our first round liquidity. That will be shorts on the news. We have a turtle soup here. So let's find an entry. This is London, so this is the one I'm focusing. And so we are trading the 3 AM candle. This is a pending one. So look at this. The news was that, well, maybe it's not news. I don't remember if there was news. Yes, here. I think it was the CPI or interest rates. So, what is the ideal short? The 3 AM candle, remember? But look at what happened. At 3 AM, it tries to make the higher high and it fails. So to me, it looks like this, meaning that the 1 hour range will be something like this, and our shorts will be inside the 2 AM range. Let's refine our entry. So that will be our range. Let's refine. And what do we have here? So every time I see an entry, I will press the sell button. Look at the time, not yet. So if you remember the sequence, the first one is the turtle soup. It will never happen because this is a failure soup. So the first one in this case will be the range high, which will be this one. And look at the time, 2:45, we're able to sell here. First one. Next one, over 3 inside the 15-minute range, we're allowed to sell again here, and well, we're inside the 2 AM range, and the objective is really low, so we can still go short. Last one will be the order block and the range high again. So when we have a close below, we are not allowed to buy anymore, so we are out here. And going to the news, not yet. Here. So this is at least the first partial, and the new candle as it opens another partial, and look at the time. This is a new candle, 3:55. So this is the new candle, 4 AM. Look what happened. It tries to make the low. So in my eyes, we see this now, and when you see 1 hour, it has created a new range, which will be this one. So we need to forget now this low because another range has been created. Fail win. So this will be the range to buy. Okay, 4 AM fails. So this is the order block. Well, everything is longs, and final take profit. Our stop loss. Looking for 3 hours. Okay. So that will be another 2 examples of failure swing. I don't know if I have more examples. Let me see. Yeah, another one, the last one. Here. Look at the time. Well, I can go to 5 minutes. I don't know why. So look at the time. 5 AM. Tries to make the higher high and fails. Meaning, to me, this will be the 1 hour candle. And what are the shorts? But I can now go for 5 minutes. I don't know what's happening. Actually, I sold here because it was SMT here. And we have also failure swing. Look at the time, 2:50, and the 3 AM candle opens here. My short was exactly here, inside that range. Now focus on this one. 5 AM tries to make the higher high and it fails. So we have more sells here. The final target would be I think it was SMT, if I'm not wrong, meaning that this is a range and this is the wrong liquidity. So this is our take profit on finished job. So going to remember 5 a.m. on 4-hour time frame is the expansion candle of New York. So from here we look for a turtle soup and then going short. So to me this is a turtle soup because at 5 a.m. so meaning the new 4-hour candle tries to make the higher high. So this is what we want to sell in. So for instance, let's say this power 3, this power 3, and we are out because this was the range we want to sell, and going into the final take profit. Okay. Easy, right? So this is gonna be it for today's episode. The next one will be the second part of the failure swing. This was already the review for today. I don't have in mind to trade New York as I had the stop loss today and I recovered. Next, look at this, it just kept going higher. So I think also we don't have news for today. Meaning that I won't trade on New York. For tomorrow, we can go before the 3 a.m. because we have news at 2 a.m. Also on Friday. We have interest rates of EU at 2.15. We could trade that news. Also, that news we could trade this one. I wouldn't trade this. And for Friday, we can trade this one. And we can start the day at 2 a.m. also. Okay. So thank you for watching and see you next.